She bought some broccoli. She brought it home. She's chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli. She's chopping broccoli. Chopping broccoli.
Good morning, broccoli!
Broccoli! In the kitchen with Jen, Ash, and Baby
Holly.
Holly.
Today we're doing broccoli 4 ways because broccoli is one of your cancer-fighting best friends. We are going to do roasted broccoli with the secret weapon. We're going to do raw broccoli with a really yummy sauce. We're going to do an amazing cancer-fighting stir fry that is going to blow your mind because it's everything you thought you shouldn't be eating. And we're going to experiment with broccoli in a smoothie and do a little taste test. Not quite sure how that's going to go, but we'll see. So we got some science here. Ash is going to tell us about the science behind broccoli and why it's so important to eat.
Okay, so broccoli is rich in sulfur. It is one of our isothiocyanates, and it is the chief. Like, there's so many cruciferous vegetables. Those are our sulfuro.
So full of caffeinated. Yes.
Name one. Cruciferous.
Kale. Cruciferous vegetable. Vegetable. Name one, Sarah.
Cauliflower.
Bok choy.
Broccoli.
Broccoli is our chief. This thing is amazing. It's actually going to attack those cancer cells. And if you have excess estrogen in your system, which you don't want to have, it's going to help you pee it out. There's a chemical in broccoli that actually gathers that estrogen and it helps you pee it out. So not only are we fighting those cancer cells, we're peeing out the excess estrogen. But there's a secret.
Secret weapon. Pay attention. This is super important.
Baby Holly knows. Look at her double fisting those raw broccoli stalks. Don't be afraid of these broccoli stalks, by the way. These are rich in calcium. But any part of the broccoli, you need to have it raw in order to get a specific enzyme, which is what breaks down, chew it really well, Jen. My great-grandmother, to give you a little tangent, was in Georgia. She lived to be 100 years old. Her name was Mitt. I've never seen anybody eat so slow in my whole life. It's because she was chewing her broccoli slow and getting this enzyme that is needed to get all of those incredible cancer-fighting properties out of your cruciferous vegetables. So let's say you don't love raw broccoli. I don't personally love it that much.
I'm loving this right
She's
now.
loving it, and she's chewing it really well. I can see that. Good job. Enzymes going in there. So anyway, you just do your normal roasted broccoli and put a couple raw florets of broccoli in there, and that's going to be enough of that enzyme to get all the good cancer-fighting chemicals from your broccoli. Or put your roasted broccoli on a bed of arugula, which is another cruciferous vegetable. That will give you those incredible enzymes to break down all the cancer-fighting properties of your roasted broccoli.
I mean, how often are you at a party and there's like one of those big plastic trays of veggies and the dip and you're like, ooh, this is the healthy food, so I'm going to eat it, and you're staring down that broccoli and you smell it and you're sort of like, that ranch dip is looking really good, and you plunge it in the ranch dip and then you eat it? Well, you are doing yourself a favor. But the thing that's really cool about it is you don't have to eat it by the mouthful. You can create these nice little sprinkles and sprinkle it on things. It's just like a little
Mix
dab
it in,
of flavor.
stir it in. And also, not only raw, but lightly steamed is fine too. So lightly steamed, stir it into those roasted broccoli. We learned this, by the way, from loving our Food Revolution Summit. And Dr. Christy Funk gave an incredible talk in which we learned some things that we thought to be true, not so true. And this book is really a great informational guide, up-to-date medicine, nutrition. She did her research. The science is behind it. It's pretty awesome.
So she's a doctor for Angelina Jolie and Sheryl Crow and thousands of other men and women suffering from breast cancer. This book I've been reading. I love it because it's not only talking about what are your choices if you have breast cancer and all of that. It's talking about what do you do to prevent it. And preventing it, most of that comes from what you choose to put in your mouth. So a lot of what we're discussing here today comes from her. We want to give a shout out, thank you, and the Food Revolution Summit. Awesome program. If you guys haven't watched that online summit, it's really amazing. You'll learn so much about food. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the first way we're doing broccoli.
Roasted broccoli with the 2 fresh flowers intermixed in there.
So Ash, you want to show us how to roast broccoli, what we're doing with
Yes, so Jen did a really great job of chopping this. Look at this, one-handed, boom. Pour it on there, Jen.
So I saved some of these to sprinkle too, if we want to sprinkle it on top, just some of the raw little bits.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Avo Haas, a local avocado oil company. Baby and I and daughter Amelia actually met him at Lazy Acres the other day. He was doing this on top of popcorn, and delicious. So rich in omega-3s. It's the most beautiful, rich green color compared to some of those other avocado oils out there. It's delicious. So we take a nice, generous sprinkling. It can handle high heats too, which is why we love it for roasting. At 425, we're gonna roast this broccoli. So that's a high heat. The avocado oil can handle that. We're gonna sprinkle a little bit of this pink Himalayan sea salt on there, which we also love.
You know, and I just want to kind of dispel something. A lot of people roast vegetables with olive oil. Now, olive oil is a low temperature to no temperature cooking oil. When you heat up olive oil, it becomes rancid. It actually oxidizes, and that's not beneficial for fighting cancer at all. We have avocado oil, which is amazing. It can handle the high heat. We highly suggest using it, and it tastes really good. I would say it's got more of like a nutty flavor.
Really delicious.
Yeah, it's got some more depth in the oil than the olive oil does. So this is all we did. Look how quick that was. We just simply chopped it up. We added the Avo Haas oil. I think baby wants some here. You want that?
Get that stock.
There you go, girly.
Yeah.
And now what we're gonna do is do one of those tricks they do on those fancy cooking shows.
Ready? Time lapse.
Here we go, here we go. We are gonna switch out. Yeah, no, it's been in here for a little while. So it's well loved, but I mean, I have to be honest with you, I like it.
And as long as you mix those raw chunks in there, it still has all those incredible and it's like a little broccoli chip. I do like it like that. And the stem is my favorite.
Right. So see, I made this the other night for my kids who won't eat raw broccoli, and I just put this in here. They didn't even notice. I felt like I was secretly experimenting on them.
I put it in an omelet the other day, roasted broccoli omelet. My kids loved it.
That's awesome. Okay, this is broccoli one way. Now we're going to show you broccoli two ways.
Okay, thank you, roasted broccoli one way with 2 fresh flowers. Number 2, we are going to do our broccoli in a stir fry. And this is exciting because we're going to use some of the other information that Dr. Funk gave us. I'm going to use some toasted sesame oil here. I'm going to start by kind of side roasting this. I got a firm tofu here.
Okay, so with tofu, what you want to do is you want to get a firm tofu, and then you take it out of its package. First of all, you want non-GMO soy. This is one of those things we learned from Christy Funk, is soy, after she dug deep into the research, realized that soy actually helps block bad estrogen.
She defunct that myth.
That's a good one. Guess how much soy that she recommends you eat a day? I mean, I was blown away by this.
Me too.
What was it?
Because I've been kind of like
No
only
soy.
a special
Soy's bad.
treat.
Right.
Yeah. She said to have 2 or 3 servings of fermented soy, which would be tempeh, miso.
What else we got in the tub? You guys tell us. Throw it up there.
Or whole soy, tofu, whole soy milk.
Non-GMO. Non-GMO.
You don't need to be
soy,
afraid of
super
those because we used to think it added estrogen to the body. Actually, they help fill up those receptor sites, just like tamoxifen, which is a drug that you have to take after having cancer. These actually reiterate what that's doing, and your body is not getting excess estrogen. It's actually shown to decrease your chances of breast cancer by 64%. These incredible studies of over 40,000, 70,000 women, something like that.
Yeah, these aren't like 25 people in a study. We're talking about women in the thousands.
And older men can actually help increase testosterone, which older men sometimes need that.
Yeah, increased testosterone. What a good thing is that? So we've got tofu here. Then we also have in here, turn this up a little bit.
Okay, so now this is really fun. I love doing stir fry. We're going to do our toasted sesame oil. It's nice and hot in here. Get a little oil in there. And you just do little bits at a time.
I'll help you with this one.
Okay, but we're just going to do little bits at a time. So we're going to do this in here, get that going.
Mushrooms. Now, I know some of you are thinking, why in the world are we using white button mushrooms? For so long, in the last several years, we've been thinking that that is such a bad idea, and we are leaning towards the shiitakes and the portobellas and all of the oyster mushrooms, all those really beautiful, yummy tasting mushrooms. Well, studies show that the plain old white button mushroom contains, after it's been lightly cooked, enough chemicals, aromatase, yeah, to fight cancer. More than any other mushroom.
And you only need half a button mushroom a day. Weird, right? I've always been getting those creminis or the portobellos or the shiitakes. Straight up white.
Right.
Okay, so with stir fry, what I learned from my incredible teacher, do one vegetable at a time. Nice and high heat, oil, a little bit of salt. The salt is going to bring out the flavor. It's going to
Break down that cellular structure.
Exactly.
Too. Start getting it cooking
Then,
faster.
throw in your broccoli. So one at a time. One at a time.
This is what it really looks like to cook with baby on board.
One at a time. And then you get that nice and coated in the oil. Add a little bit more salt to that one. And this is pink Himalayan sea salt, so don't be scared about using too much. And then, hopefully this is hot enough, you're going to use a splash of ice water. This is what they do in the Chinese restaurants. That is what gets the veggies steaming, and that really brings in that flavor. So you get that water soaked in, and then once that's soaked up, I actually set this aside and do my next batch. You just do small batches at a time. That's a real fresh. And you can serve this if you want. These are going a little slow. Sorry, I should have started these ahead of time.
So while you're cooking that, why don't I talk about our third way to do broccoli?
Absolutely, do that, Jen.
Now, you know how we were talking about raw broccoli is so important? And I was sort of making fun of the ranch dip and the gigantic size veggie platters. This is one of our favorite companies. They're local. This is called Bitchin' Sauce. Yes, it's really called Bitchin' Sauce. And this is one of their newer flavors I found, which is a buffalo dip. They have so many. They have their regular, they have a cilantro jalapeno, they have a Bombay curry, they have a really hot one, they have a chipotle. So what I like to do when my kids come home from school, I think we talked about this in the first Facebook, is I like to just throw a thing of veggies on the table with the dip. And this dip is great. It's an almond. Its base is mostly almonds, so you get a lot of healthy protein to it. It's really delicious, and it's a great way to just eat broccoli. In fact, sometimes what's fun is you get a couple different dips, and then people can play with it and see what they like the best.
Let me try that, Jen.
It's really good.
And then the kids are getting this nice enzyme in the raw broccoli, and what a great healthy snack.
Now, something that Chinese nutrition talks about is like treating like. When you are looking at food as medicine, which is, you know, our jam, that's what we're really into, you want to look at what foods are you eating that mimic or look like certain parts of the body. For example, walnuts, when you take the shell off, they look like the brain. They're great for brain health. Kidney beans look like your kidneys. They're good for kidneys. So last night, as Ashley and I were talking about preparing for today, we really stumbled upon this and thought it was such a no-brainer. Here is an image of breast and the mammary glands. Now, if you look at the breast and you compare that with broccoli, you see how similar that looks? If there's anything to take away from eating broccoli is that
like cures like.
Like cures like, exactly. It can really help you.
Yeah. Jen, will you give this tofu a little stir for me?
Absolutely.
So my goal with the tofu here was just to get it kind of some crispy edges. So if you can kind of flip those over, you'll
looking
see
good. It's starting to
there's
look
some
good.
nice crispy edges there. And then we'll let it kind of cook on the other side. And then Jen, I think this one is looking good if you don't mind. If I don't want to get the baby too hot close to that heat, you can dump that out into here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm just gonna start another round. We'll keep going with
going?
that. Yeah.
So what do you like to flavor your stir fries with?
You know, that's a good question. You can always do like a teriyaki sauce. Sometimes I just like to do it very simple, and I'll maybe salt it at the end. I'll put it on some sushi rice or on some basmati rice, and do a little umeboshi plum vinegar or tamari, which is another fermented soy product that I think we forgot to mention.
Oh, we did forget that one. Okay, umeboshi plum. This is from the ume plum. This is great for digestion. This is something that you'll see in a lot of different cultures, like
Japanese,
Chinese.
Vietnamese. Thich Nhat Hanh, the mindfulness guru, he actually lives on an ume plum farm in Paris.
They're really sour and salty. And then tamari is a great alternative to soy sauce. It's been fermented and it's also gluten-free. Tastes delicious.
Then you want to dump some of that ice water in there?
Oh yeah. Do I get to do the ice water now?
Yeah.
That's exciting. Here we go.
Woo, perfect. Got a little steam going.
One of the things I love about stir fry is I can make it in bulk and then I can have it for a few days for lunches or for kids for dinner, and you can kind of mix it up. So you can go with it really plain, and then you could add a fried egg on top, or you can add a new sauce to it, or you could add a different type of protein with it. You can add sesame seeds to the rice. You can add seaweed to dress it up. There's so many different ways to dress up tofu.
So what I do with this, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
What I do with this tofu at the end, and this could have crispier edges, but this is delicious as it is. I turn off the heat, and then you could use either one of these, tamari or ume, and you're just going to do a little sprinkling back and forth, and that coats it. You could also put some turmeric on here or whatever spices you love. This is a great snack. You can put this right next to that raw broccoli for the kids. Call it good. Or what I was going to do is integrate that in the stir fry. And
Do you want me to dump it in here for you?
dump it in there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh my gosh, doesn't that look good? And then we can just simply add this to our lunch here. Anybody want to join us for lunch? We're going to have plenty to eat here.
Yeah.
And actually, where we're at today, we are not filming in our usual location. We are filming at an Airbnb in Cardiff. And this place is so adorable. I just want to show you because it's new on the market. It was on the market a few years ago, and then the owners decided that they wanted to bring it back onto the market, and they volunteered their kitchen for us. So would you show us, would you give us a quick little pan of this place? It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It is so cute. It's a mile from the beach. It's just absolutely adorable. It's got great lighting.
Ocean breezes.
Yeah, a cute backyard.
Fire pit in the backyard, hammock, barbecue. I love this space. It's so fun to cook here. Great lighting.
And in fact, what we can do in the notes below is we can share a link to it. So if you have friends or family coming into town, this is a perfect spot for them.
So one thing I just would like to reiterate here in this gorgeous kitchen. So we have our broccoli stir fry, but what's missing from this? We're missing the raw component. So what I would maybe do is cook up some basmati rice, stir that up with some raw arugula from my garden. Now arugula is a cruciferous vegetable. You're going to get that enzyme you need to help break down all the cancer-fighting properties of the other cruciferous vegetables that you've cooked. So don't forget that you need a little bit of that raw arugula. The other option is to cut up your broccoli florette and sprinkle that in there. Chopping broccoli.
Sprinkle some of it on top. Look at that. You've got your raw in there. It's small, so you'll be able to chew it up really well. Okay, we're on to our 4th way of broccoli.
4th way, all right.
A bit of an experiment, okay? So here we go. I wanted to show you guys a way that I love to make smoothies because I don't have time every day to wake up and make smoothies. So what I do is I prep them ahead of time. Now, we picked up some soy milk here based on Dr. Funk's research, a non-GMO soy, USDA organic, super important. In this smoothie is banana, frozen blueberries. Frozen blueberries contain more polyphenols than fresh ones, and those are cancer fighting. So, I mean, it's kind of nice because you can buy frozen organic blueberries in bulk and use them all day long without them, mildewing.
Wild are best too.
They're so good. Okay, so in here, let me go back. We've got soy milk. We've got half a banana. We've got cinnamon. We've got a little vanilla. We've got frozen blueberries. What I do is I line these up in my refrigerator, and then each morning I wake up, I dump it in my Vitamix, blend it up, pour it in the cup, and walk out the door. We are going to attempt broccoli, and we're going to do a taste test. So in one of these, we're going to just do the broccoli florets here. And in the other, actually, Ash, will you grab me a stem over there? We're going to try the stem. because so often that stem gets disregarded, gets thrown out, it's food waste. And you know, we're really big on not wasting food. We might not start with that much. How about we start with this much?
Good morning, broccoli.
Good morning, broccoli. Now we're gonna dump taste number 1. Okay, remember, we gotta remember, these are the florets here. Here we go. Now, I hope my kids aren't watching, but this is a little secret. When you're making smoothies for your kids, blueberries hide greens.
Oh, look at that color.
And they hide the taste of greens.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there's number 1. Those are the flowers on the left,
Can I
stems
taste
on
it?
the right.
Can I taste
Yeah,
it?
let's see.
Oh my god.
Is it good?
Can it taste babe? I think it's really
No, broccoli mustache. You have a handlebar mustache, baby. I
good.
love it.
Mustache, baby.
I love
Look
it.
at mama. You like?
You know the thing I love about soy milk too is it's so creamy. Okay,
Yeah.
taste test 2, stems. Here we go.
Oh
That's pretty good.
She's like,
Try this one, baby.
baby.
This is all stems. We call her genius baby. She really knows so much.
Oh Lord. We're gonna have to clean up this Airbnb before the next grocery comes in. Baby, take a look. Let me see.
Baby, we
Take a
love you.
look. Oh no.
What do you
Isn't this
think?
so good? Broccoli 4 ways.
There you have it, broccoli 4 ways. Remember, you've always got to add a little bit of raw to any of your cooked broccoli to up those cancer-fighting things. And I want to show you one more thing. Baby Holly was going to join us. We'll see what's happening here.
Bonus.
Bonus. Over here.
Bonus. Broccoli bonus. Broccoli bonus.
Broccoli sprouts. Oh my gosh, aren't these amazing?
Look how pretty. It's a broccoli forest.
And they even look like mammary gland tissue too.
Broccoli
on the breast.
forest. Broccoli forest. Broccoli
Think
forest.
how many broccoli plants you could plant from these. Well, the thing is, sprouts are how many times more powerful?
100 times more cancer fighting than
Yes.
broccoli.
100 times. 100 times, everybody remember that. Sprouts are really easy to make. Luckily, Mitch at Leucadia Farmers Market yesterday donated to our cause and gave us this beautiful flat of sprouts. He sells the most amazing
Thank you, Mitch.
microgreens. Thank you so much. And we started some ourselves. You know, some of you aren't as lucky to have an amazing farmer's market, or sometimes we don't have time to make it
We
there.
got these seeds from the Sprout House online.
But you can make these yourself. So what we did is we simply dropped these in a mason jar and put a little water on them. Now, if you look closely, some of them have started to pop and sprout.
So soak the seeds for 8 to 10 hours, drain the water out, let them sit in the jar, and simply just rinse twice a day. And within 3 to 7 days, you have these sprouts in the jar.
And
Easy
then you just
peasy.
pull them out. The key is you do need to wash them and use them pretty quickly, otherwise they get a little funky. But we wanted to end you here with our bonus of broccoli sprouts. They're amazing. You can add these to everything on top of things. You can make them with sandwiches, all sorts of yummy stuff. Let's see. Ollie, you want a broccoli sprout?
Ollie, you want to try a sprout?
Look,
Want
Ollie.
to try a sprout?
There you go. This one's for you.
Yay.
There you go.
Good girl,
you
yeah. Chopping broccoli.
Chopping broccoli.
Chopping
Join us
broccoli.
not next Monday, the following Monday for our next Facebook Live. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what Holly's going to do. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Oh, go, Holly.
Broccoli
Go for it.
forest. Broccoli forest.
Mm-hmm.